Hello, Todd Falcone here with another video tip. And a couple of weeks ago I did a video and I talked about the fact that everything rises and falls on confidence. Your customer's confidence in your product or service and that product or service's ability to get results. Ultimately, if you're an independent distributor in a network marketing or direct sales company, your confidence in the CEO, the people that are running the company, etc. And then, of course, really your self-confidence as you go out and talk to other people. And I wanted to kind of recap a little bit and just give you a few different suggestions for improving or increasing your own self-confidence. Because here's the thing, the more confident you are, the better result that you're going to get. And the good news is that you can actually become more confident by doing a few specific activities, and I really believe that it's one of the most critical things that you should be focusing on is how to become more confident, more competent in the actions and the activities that you take each day in your network marketing business, specifically talking to people, interacting with people, engaging with people in conversation, presenting your business, and so on. And it still is one of the biggest areas that people tend to struggle with. So I'm going to give you 3 very simple tips on improving your own self-confidence over time. And I promise you this, that if you do these 3 things, you will certainly get better, you'll increase your competence, your ability to do something well, and ultimately you'll end up becoming more self-confident. Because here's the thing, if you do something good, you have more confidence associated with that activity. If you're not really good at it, you're going to have a low self-confidence relative to that, a lower self-esteem relative to that, and that's just not real conducive to production. So, number 1, and these aren't in any particular order, but I'm just going to share them with you. Number 1 is like, who are you investing your time with? And you probably heard me talk about this before, but who are you surrounding yourself with? Here's the thing, if you're surrounding yourself with other successful people, other confident, competent, doer, producer people, some people might think, well, wow, these people are so much better than me. I'm always comparing myself and looking up to, and I'm not as good as them, and it's gonna work in the opposite, and it's not gonna work for me, and I'm gonna be more depressed. Well, not really, because typically what happens when you're around really good quality people, really good doer type folks, those people like lift you up, they bring you up, they encourage you. And it's a very different experience, as you're probably aware, if you've been around other folks that might not be so positive, might not be so successful, where they're constantly negative and skeptical and icky and putting you down and all of that stuff. So if we go, okay, well, if I spend time with low quality people that are negative and skeptical, that's certainly not serving you. It's not helping you out at all in terms of developing your self-confidence. But if you're up here and you're talking and you're engaging with really high quality people on a consistent basis, that stuff rubs off on you. And over time, it's going to have a very positive and significant impact on your own personal self-confidence relative to what you're doing. Number 2, practice. Now, I would ask you this question, right? How much are you actually practicing in between your presentations or your calls? Have you actually taken the time to kind of do a dry run through and practice, and maybe practice with a friend or practice with your spouse or practice in the mirror, as silly as it might sound, so that you've gone through the motions enough times where you could almost kind of close your eyes or blur your eyes and know exactly what's going to happen. It's like when I teach people, for example, how to make phone calls and be more comfortable with those phone calls, I'll give somebody a script. And that script is really a guide, because at first you don't really know what to say, so you're given a script. You read the script. At first you might be reading it. Over time you can read it with blurred eyes, and you become, you've got it basically memorized, and ultimately you can put it aside and you don't need it because you completely have not only do you have it memorized, but you have the gist of what the conversation is. You really understand what the objective of that conversation is without having to revert back and look at a piece of paper, and it really helps you with your confidence. So I would ask you, how much are you actually practicing? So if you have low self-confidence right now relative to the things that we're doing in this business, talking to people, walking up to somebody, approaching somebody, engaging somebody in conversation, presenting your business, I'd ask you, well, how much are you actually practicing those routines before you do them? The more you practice, you've heard repetition is the mother of learning. It certainly is. The more times you're practicing it, the more times you're doing it, the more comfortable you're getting with it. It just kind of starts to sink in the more you do it. So that's another thing. The third thing is you have to actually take action. So you can't get good at something by sitting on the sidelines and watching all the time. So it might be relatively uncomfortable at first when you start to make phone calls or engage people in conversation when and that's like the ickiest part. I mean, I know the feeling because I was there. It's like I'm so brand new, but you still have to start someplace. So the cool thing is through the actual activity or action that you're taking, because it's a real life experience, because it's an actual experience, it's the thing that you're actually doing, you can learn from that experience. Now, one thing I definitely have people do a lot, especially when I'm coaching people one-on-one, is I will have them record some of their calls for me, as well as for them to review what they're doing. And I'll just tell you something. Years and years ago, I was in a speech class. Believe it or not, I actually used to hate speaking in front of an audience, and I had to talk about this is a pen, but I had to talk about a number 2 Ticonderoga pencil on stage in front of a camera. And I thought I was awesome. Oh, this pencil is so great, and it's yellow, and does all this, and it's so cool. And then I looked at the video, and almost every other word was like, and it was horrific. And it wasn't until I saw the video that I realized what I was doing, and then I was able to make some changes and adjustments based on reviewing that. So action and review is the third thing. So number 1, surrounding yourself with really good quality people that will lift you up. Number 2 is practicing. And number 3 is actually taking action in the marketplace on a consistent basis and learning through those experiences. Those 3 activities will certainly have a positive impact on your self-confidence and certainly increase your competence. So we'll see you on another video. This is Todd Falcone, and have a super day. Bye.